first thing I'm going to do is explain to you what Rincos are. So we know when we look on the right side of the screen, we see candles. On the left side of the screen, we see Rincos. Rincos are formed in what is called bricks. And you have to learn to identify the time frames, because the Rincos, they don't really go by time frames. They go by pure price action. And that's why Rincos, you see the difference in how clean your Rincos are on the left versus how choppy your candles appear on the right. Well, these Rincos appear, and let me maximize this, in what we call a brick. Each one of these is a brick. If you look at the top, it will tell you the value of each brick. So even though that we're on the 1 hour chart, it could take 5 minutes or 5 days for this brick to complete. This brick will not complete until it is exactly 24 pips, okay? So I probably got it a little off, but that brick is 24 pips. So what happened is the market moved 24 pips to the upside. And once it does, it creates a brick. Here, it moved 24 pips to the downside. Now, what happened here? The market had moved 24 pips to the downside. It tried to move 24 pips up and failed. So why did it leave a wick? Because we had failure. It was going to pull back up and correct. And if you isolate these wicks and put a rectangle around them and switch over to candles, you'll just see a period of consolidation. The market tried to create another green brick, which is a buy. It failed to produce 24 pips and hold it, and it dropped. What happened here? You had a solid 24 pips to the downside, and it continued. Right here, you'll see a little shadow. It's trying to form another 24 pips to the downside. And if it does, you'll just get another red brick. If it doesn't and it goes back up, you're going to get a wick. So is everybody tracking on that so far?
Can you repeat again what you said about it felling, a brick felling in the wick?
Okay, you see over here where it says 24 pips?
Okay, yes.
Each one of these bricks is exactly 24 pips. 24 pips to the upside, you get a green brick. 24 pips to the downside, you get a red brick. Here, the wick is going up. That means it tried to create another green brick and it failed.
And that's on your 1 hour?
Well, the time frame really doesn't matter, but if you'll look here on the 1 hour, it's 24 pips. If I go down to my 15 minutes, it's 10 pips in each brick. The only thing that changes per time frame with Rincos is the amount of pips in each brick. You see that? Now on the 30 minute is 16. On the 1 hour, it's 24. On the 4 hour, it's 53, and so forth. So where candles go according to time frame, Rincos goes according to the average pips in each brick, okay? Now,
thank you.
You really need to know which time frame is which. So the way I tested this and became familiar with which time frame is which is by putting it side by side. So on the left, you'll see I have 1 hour Rincos, yes. On the right, I have 4 hour candles. Now, does that look similar?
Yes.
It's not going to be it's not going to be perfect because your Rincos cuts out all the noise. So
it's cleaner.
If I take a trend line and do this, you'll see what happens. You see that?
Hey, Gigi?
Yes.
How is the size of the brick determined? Like, is that something we would do, or?
Okay. No, it's automatically calculated. Okay. Let me finish just these few basics, and then we'll ask questions, and then Terrell's going to teach us a strategy with Rincos that will change your trading career, okay? But the most important thing, you need to know which time frames are which. Up here, it says average true range, and it tells you it's the last 14 periods, and it's calculated at 24 bricks. So just like you see the average daily range and stuff on other things, the computer's calculating it for you. It's not going to complete this brick until it does exactly what this average says. and those wicks are failures. But I just want you to make sure you're familiar with the time frames. If you're looking at your 4-hour candles, that's your 1-hour Rincos. So let's begin from the beginning. Your 5-minute Rincos is going to be like your 15-minute candles. Okay, see that?
Yes.
So make sure you remember these time frames. 5-minute Rincos, 15-minute candles. Here we go, right here. All right. See that?
Yes.
All right, your 15-minute Rincos is going to be your 1-hour candles. Starting to make sense?
Gigi, what did you say the 5-minute Rincos was? What on candles?
The 5-minute Rincos is your 15-minute candles. Your 15-minute Rincos is your 1-hour candles. All right, can you see? It's very plain to see. This is choppy and has a lot of noise. This is very clear. And it's easier, you know, sometimes people question the flags, excuse me, mouse slipped here. And look at your mouse. Now, is that not a perfect flag?
Yeah,
Perfect.
yes.
All right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
your 1-hour Rincos is going to be your 4-hour candles. You can see that on here. And then your 4-hour candles is going to be, your 4-hour Rincos is going to be your daily candles. And that's it. That's how you make sure you're on the right time frame for each. And if you want to ever see the comparison, if you're unsure of a pattern, you can just go up here to the top and do the side by side here in your chart layouts. And I like to sometimes look at one versus the other, and this helps me do it. Now, one thing I like to do, I like to go to my 4-hour candles, come over here to my 1-hour Rincos. If I want to identify my zones, I'll take like the last brick to the upside or the last brick to the downside, and I'll take my rectangle, and if I completely encompass just this brick and bring it over, bring it up a little bit. This brick showed me the perfect support or the supply zone right here where it was selling off, right? So this was resistance here. So what do I expect it to be over here? Support, where it's not going to break through or where it's going to meet resistance. So let's look at that. Look how perfectly it identified that zone. You see that? And here's where your candles were rejecting into that zone each time. So some of you who have problems finding your supply and demand zones, and I'll do that one more time, one more example. I look for an opposing, like this was my last green brick coming down. This was my last green brick coming down. If I go here and I highlight this area, this is going to be my zone where I'm going to look for the market to reject. And look how beautifully over here on my candles, I got that rejection in that area. And you see over here on the candles, you have pure wicks, price exhaustion. But over here, you see it pushed up in that area, and that's where I got my rejection. So some of you who have problems finding the perfect zone, I found that using these zones on this 1 hour, and let me try and use another example. Right, let's look at this last brick here, bring it over. And now look on my candles where my market bought from.
Gigi, what's the tool that you're using to mimic the drawings on both simultaneously?
You just turn it on in your settings. Whenever you have your settings on here, you go to your drawings and make sure that it's highlighted. If I unhighlight it, you'll see me draw over here, but it won't come up over here. You see that?
Okay, so it's the one that's right above the trash can that was highlighted before?
Oh, you want to know what this is? This is my rectangle, this blue thing. But if
Right.
you,
I'm just wondering how you make it draw on both charts at the same time.
down here,
The draw.
when
Okay.
you have your side by side, drawings has to be highlighted.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks.
All right. And that's really all I have. That's how I use Rankos. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Gigi, I'm a little confused in that you gave us the timeline on the time frame. I'm sorry. I noticed when you're doing the comparison, you're on the same time frame for the charts.
No, I'm not. You probably, when this is lit up, it says 1 hour, right?
Right. Yeah.
When I light this up, what does it say?
Okay. That's where it was. Okay.
Yeah. That's all. No problem. But you see how clean that is and how perfect those zones are just by using the last brick to create your zone. Now you don't have to go back and guess, where's my support and resistance. You just use the last candle, the last wick before the market went in an opposite direction. All right, somebody please mute. Got a lot of noise going on there.
Gigi, you said to determine the zones, you use the last brick down here at the bottom?
Yep, you see right here where the market did an impulse and it did a correction. Before this market went up, that was the last brick that formed.
Your
And it went
uptrend?
up. Yep.
Okay.
This last red brick here, you see that last red brick? That's the one I highlighted, and it gave me this zone. Here, the market reversed. I highlighted my last brick. And over here, that's where my market came to the next time before it sold off. That makes sense? It's
Yes.
just the very last one. Then right here in this area, if I look at this, where my market was failing here, let's just do it a different way. I'm going to put my little horizontal rays there. Look at the perfect zone it gave me over here. Can you get any cleaner than that? I mean, that's perfect zones, yes? The market even your wick came right here. Look how perfect your wick came to my horizontal ray. Look how perfect these wicks came to my horizontal ray before the market rejected or pushed back up. And it was the same here. Look how it was rejecting in that zone and sold off. So those bricks can give you those nice clean zones. All right, any other questions?
Gigi, I'm trying to figure out how do you get wrinkles in the candles at the same time? I know how to pull
You just go over here on the right and choose a layout. Like with my plan, I can have different layouts. And I just do the side by side. It's under your layouts.
So you have GBP candles open and GBP wrinkles. So I'm just trying to understand how I get both of them open at the same time.
That's all. You click right here. And you type in, like if I wanted to put GBP CAD over there. Now I have GBP CAD over here. I type in over here and I put GBP CAD. Now I have GCAD side by side. Here I got a 1 hour. Here I can switch this to 4 hour.
So is it automatically gonna pull up the candle? See, if I have the full screen of wrinkles,
it's gonna pull up whatever you select. Nothing changes. Like here, it's got candles. I can switch it to wrinkles, Fibonacci, line chart, whatever I want. I can compare my line chart with my wrinkles to see what I got going on here. Get my highs and my lows. It's whatever. Remember, you control what you see. It's nothing special that I've done. It's just I wanted to learn. If I want to learn how to trade wrinkles, what better way than to see the difference in how price acts on each right? This is just a deeper form of back testing. The only way you're going to master anything is to back test it. All right. And when I chart, I want to see the difference in the two. Like right here, that candle or that brick, when I section it off by itself, look at my zone now where GCAD is sitting. You see that? And again, like I said in the beginning, don't overthink this. It's simple. All it is I'm charting up GCAD simultaneously in Rincos and candles. And that's why I told you which time frames to use together. So I can see how the market is moving and get a view from my Rincos and my candles. Where this might confuse me, look, see how choppy this is going up? And we know it's moving up correctively, but if I want to know if it's still pushing up strong, look at my Rincos in comparison. Which gives you a stronger or more confidence to trade? This solid push up or all this choppiness?
The solid push.
Exactly.
Gigi,
Yes.
when you push on the selection to sync up both sides, which blue ones do you select?
I chose number 2, the side by side. I could do it like this and it would switch it. And it's going to be preference. I like having it side by side.
But on the very bottom, it has sync all charts and it's got symbol, crosshair, and so forth.
You can just play with it and like, I don't want to sync the time intervals because Rincos and candles don't look the same on time intervals. Again, your 1 hour Rincos is going to be the same as your 4 hour candle. So I don't want to sync that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I could put sync symbols. I'll turn that one on. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yes.
What package in the trading view allow you to get the Rincos and able to do the side by side?
I think it's Pro Plus, Grant. Is that the one? I had the highest one. I think I have the second highest one. But I think it's Pro Plus that allows you. I'm allowed to have, I think, 4 or 6 might be my highest. Let me try. Yeah, 4 is my highest. So I have Pro Plus. And it gives me the Rincos. It gives me like 300 alerts.
Thanks, Gigi.
No, I don't have candles for each side. I have to have Rincos here. And another reason, guys, I like to do this, if you're going to set alerts, you cannot set alerts on Rincos, but you can set alerts on candles, yes? So if I chart them side by side, you know, people were like, and I started doing this because people had so many questions about Rincos. They're like, I like Rincos, but I can't set alerts. I said, yes, you can. Just chart it up and set it on the candles. Does that make sense? Because if you want to trade with Rincos, just put the alert on, but you have to put it on the candle view. It's going to give you the same thing. It's going to go off at the same time. All right. All right. Any more questions? Let's see.
Gigi, you said under sync symbols, you selected to sync the time.
Because before, I would have to go put it on each, but I just see now, since somebody asked me about that, I was able to highlight it. See, I learned something from the class today. Down here, like you click on what you want to sync. I had clicked to sync my drawings because when I draw on here, I wanted to show up on both charts.
So you sync drawing and time frames.
Right. I must have turned it off. Let me. Yep. I don't sync time frames. No. Because remember, the Rincos and the candles are not on the same time frame.
Okay, so you sync the symbols.
Yeah, and
the drawing and the symbols.
Yeah, the drawings. So just remember, and I'll repeat it one more time, but you'll have it in your recording. 5-minute Rincos is 15-minute candles. 5-minute Rincos is 15-minute candles. 15-minute Rincos is 1 hour candles. 15-minute Rincos is 1 hour candles. 1 hour Rincos, 4 hour candles. 1 hour Rincos, 4 hour candles. 4 hour Rincos, daily candle. 4-hour Rincos is daily candle. And I don't go any higher than that because, you know, I don't want to use Rincos on a weekly or a monthly. So that's as high as I go. And that's, sometimes I'll look at my entries on the 1-minute Rincos, but I just wanted to let you know what Rincos were, how to chart with them on each time frame, and how I use the Rincos. Like, we'll do one more example here. Like if I take this over to here, you see how that hit my zone perfectly? Because it's pure price action. You see that over here? You can't get any cleaner than that. All right. And it's because I chose the last brick. All right.
DG,
Yes.
do you enter a trade with the Rencos, or you go to the candle side to decide when you get into a trade?
I have traded before off the 1-minute Rincos. It's been a minute since I did that. You know, I've just been using the 5-minute candles so I can use those wick rejections like I showed you guys. And see, my 1-minute Rincos is going to be like my 5-minute candles, but it won't remember your Rincos not going to complete until you get that full move. And if I want to get an earlier tight entry, yes, I can use my 1-minute and just say you were trading off this area. You see how you got wicks, but then this completed going to the upside. That's why I prefer to use my candles on the entries. You can use it. Let's see, just to do an example. Like I got my wicks going on here. That pulled up into there, gave me the engulfing, but you see, you can't see the engulfing over here. You see pure price action. That's why I stick with the 5-minute candles like Terrell teaches, okay? Because you can't get down any lower than 1 minute on these that I'm aware of. I haven't tried. All right. And that's all I have.
Hey, Gigi, just real quick, but can you tell me how I forgot how to draw on both sides.
So you're a little broken up. You said, how do I draw on both sides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll go back to, and I did that a little earlier, but I'll do it one more time. You got your 15-minute Rincos. What time frame do I use my candles for 15-minute Rincos?
No.
1 hour.
I'm going to show you, but I'm asking to make sure everybody's tracking. So somebody said 1 hour. Okay, so we see we're tracking. Up here, as long as the drawings is highlighted blue, whatever I do over here is going to show up on the other side.
Sweet.
All right.
Thank you.
And here's my, right here, my last red candle. If I look at that zone, you see it hit it here and pushed up, hit it here and pushed up. Then we finally got our breakthrough. If I had looked at this last one here and highlighted it, look at where your flag pulled back up into it, okay? That was an impulse correction. When it came back and retested, it retested, and I've noticed that a lot. It'll retest these areas. But the more you play with stuff, the more you're going to learn. So practice, practice, practice. See, you know, you might find some stuff. Bridget, that's just it's forming. It hasn't finished forming yet. This one right here, the market closed, it was still forming. It had not dropped 4 pips, 40 pips. That's 40 pips. So it's got to complete 40 pips. If it doesn't, it's going to leave a wick. That's all. If it keeps dropping down 40 pips, it's going to make a brick. If it pushes back up, it's going to leave a wick. All right. And that's it. Y'all want to know how to use these things to make some money, right? And just remember, you got the recording, and the more you use it, the more it's going to make sense. So I don't want to take up all the time explaining them. Those are the ways that I use it. But you see, I have my perfect zones by using my last brick. You can't get any cleaner zones than that, guys. All right.
TJ, when you say you use your last brick, you mean your last brick to the upside,
Or
right?
the downside.
Or the downside. Okay.
So you see here how I didn't use the lower brick on those two. I'm gonna get rid of it,
Okay.
and then I'll come here and I'll use this as the last brick before it went up. Now look at the difference. You see that? It made a difference from using this brick to using that brick. We had cut through this. And this will help you get better entries too, because you'll be looking for the rejection. If this is pure price, and we know that they like to move the market at certain prices, this is going to help us identify those zones. All right. And if it breaks through that, I would just move down to my next lowest one. But you see it's bouncing off of that. But it gives you good, clean, and a lot of times it'll be perfect to the wick. Look how perfect this was to your wick. Everybody knows I love wicks, and I love getting in the market off of wicks. All right. That's it for me. Terrell, are you ready? Thank you, Stephanie.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing and mute myself out.
All right. Cool. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Hey,
Hey, morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So before we actually get started with everything, get all of this off of here. Do we have any questions about, you know me, I like to go over recaps first. Like, I don't want to just go straight into everything if we don't have to, you know, because it's been a week. First of all, matter of fact, before we even do that, actually, can everybody tell me how y'all trading week went?
It went awesome.
Awesome. Outside of silver, everything went awesome. Great,
Okay.
great training, great refresher. Really needed.
So did you all realize and see how, you know, pretty much everything that we went over last weekend pretty much played out like to a T this week?
Yep.
You know, it was a really kind of a choppy, weird week at the beginning, but for the most part, everything we talked about, like when it came to entry, structure, just everything, like it all, you know, did pretty much exactly. Like I seen a lot of you all sent me messages saying how you got in your first trade alone and you first time making profits. Like that's great, because why you all are identifying certain patterns in the market. You all are understanding what these reversal patterns are. We talked about EG. I'm actually still holding this from down here at the bottom. We had a flag inside of here, right? Yeah, you all saw that. So you all know, like, noticed, like me and Gigi didn't make anything up. We didn't say anything just to sound good. This is literally how the market plays out. So I'm glad you all had a great week. Extremely happy about that. And this is only the beginning for you all when it comes to that. I promise you. Honestly, you all don't realize this, but you all had a great week this past week, but we're in a bad trading time right now. Like, this is a bad time to really, really trade in the fourth quarter of the year. That's when a lot of market makers aren't really, they like the market isn't playing out exactly like it should be just yet. They waiting for the first quarter of next year. So if you all are having great weeks and you're just learning the skill set, you're just starting to do this now, just imagine once next year, January, February, March time comes, what you all are going to be doing, right? So anyway, so congratulations on that. But before we get into everything with Rankos, do you all have any questions on anything that we went over so far?
I do, Terrell.
I do.
I just wanted you to go back over market structure and entries. I'll recap it.
Okay. Somebody else about to had a question too? Maybe that was the same.
Yeah, I did.
Same thing.
Same thing? Okay, cool.
I did too, Terrell.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the students got together in a Zoom, and some of us were struggling when we got down to the monthly, weekly, daily and south, trying to make the right decision for charting.
Okay.
We struggled a little bit. So the elevator speech about that would be really great. If that's inappropriate, we have the recordings like Gigi said.
Yeah, no, that's all good. I mean, the recordings are great. Don't get me wrong. That's why we make sure you all get recordings, but you definitely want your live questions answered live if you can. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we can definitely do that real quick. So this is a perfect pair. We're just going to start over with here. Obviously, you all see that reversal pattern, but let's start from the very beginning, from the top. So at the monthly, what am I doing? Typically, the way that I trade. Can anybody tell me?
Checking for your highs and lows.
Highs and lows.
Highs and low
Okay.
in price, right? So that's my high, and this is my low, right? So go to the weekly. From what am I starting to do now?
Look for your trend.
Look for your trend.
Trend
So
lines.
from the weekly down, I'm looking for my trend, correct? So can anybody tell me what my trend is for my weekly? What type of trend do I see?
A downtrend.
Downtrend, right? From here to here, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So honestly, before I even go down some more, can somebody, we probably cheating right now, but I want to see if you all can just get, what am I looking for based off what my weekly time frame is telling me?
You're looking for a correction.
Looking for a correction.
Yeah, right, bingo. Just like I got that correction, I also know a correction is due right here, right?
Correct.
So it may be somebody on here saying, well, XYZ, how do you know this and that? Well, that correction is a 150 pip move. So it may not look like a lot, but remember, we're on a weekly right now. So just that alone, I know I'm looking for a correction. Not only that, can anybody else tell me what I see based off of this time frame?
Descending channel. A
A
descending channel.
or it's not
Nope.
correcting right.
Nope, not that, not a descending channel. I'm on a weekly, so I'm not really paying attention to a descendant on a weekly.
Oh,
You're almost at the bottom.
you have a sideways flag.
What is this?
A demand zone.
Demand zone.
That's on.
There you go. So I'm in the demand zone, right? So that's the second thing I'm looking at. Now, drop down to the daily. Now, what do I see on my daily?
A descending wedge.
Yeah, so I do see the descending. Me personally, I don't start looking for descendings or ascendings. I do look for them on a daily. I take that back. From the daily down to the 1 hour when I start paying attention. But this is what I see. Really, I look at my demand zone a lot strong. Remember, I told you all I like the daily the most when it comes to supply and demand, because you get more candles in a week off the daily time frame, but also it's a big time frame to where you get to catch a lot of pips. So if I look left, I see I'm in that zone. But also, just like I said on my weekly, I need a flag. Clear flag needs to be formed. So can anybody tell me what trend do I see on my daily though?
You're still in a downtrend.
Still in a downtrend.
So is it safe to say really no trend, correct?
Correct.
No self trend, right? So we still just gonna base off this trend. Good job. So we don't do anything there. So now I drop down to my 4 hour. What do I see?
A downtrend as well.
A downtrend, but
Descending
it's a
channel.
descending.
Looks like a descending channel.
That's when I really start paying attention to that reversal channel, right? So now at this point, let's say this was Monday. So let's go to Monday. Let's go take this out. What was Monday's date? Anybody can help me? I think it was the
18th.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think it was right here. I remember this week. Yeah. So it's the 18th, right? So coming into the beginning of last week, with that being said, this is what I see on my 4 hour. Now I drop down to my 1 hour, right? Because all I did was mark this channel up on my 4 hour. Now I go to my 1 hour. What do I see? Can anybody tell me?
You still see the
You're at the bottom. You're at the bottom.
I'm about to say, I still see the channel. Of course, I'm gonna still see it because like the market doesn't change from time frame to time frame. So of course I'm gonna still see it. But remember, as I drop down time frames, I see it deeper. So now I know exactly where I'm at in this channel. And I see I'm at the bottom, like some of you all just said, right? So hit play, slow it down a little bit. With me understanding I'm at the bottom, I can look to enter there just because I'm at the bottom. Again, if I enter there, what is this?
Engulfing.
A risky.
Oh, that's a risky.
A risky entry.
There you go, risky. It's risky entry, right? Why? Because it can create a new bottom. But I can still look to enter there just because I see I'm at the bottom. And Somebody just said another thing, which was great, an engulfing candle.
Engulfing candle.
Yeah. So let's go to a smaller time frame. Let's see if we can go to the 5 minute, right? That engulfing candle that I saw on the 1 hour. Let's go back to the 1 hour real quick. I'm sorry. Right? You saw somebody just announced this as an engulfing, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Cool.
And that's a descending channel within the descending channel.
Is it? I didn't look. Let me go check. Yeah, it actually is. Good eye. Good eye, good eye.
I see it.
Yeah. So, but that's not actually what I saw coming into the gates. Can anybody tell me what I saw?
You send your impulse flag and continuation to the
Hey,
upside.
boy, y'all need to start teaching me. You look at this impulse, right? What is this right here?
A flag.
A flag.
Look, bingo, my entry. This is my confirmation for my entry. If I didn't enter here, I got this, impulse and move, clear flag, right? Continuation. This is actually where we entered at the very beginning of the week or whatever. And we held that bad boy all the way. I actually got 2 separate entries in this area. Speed that joint up. But yeah, so any questions on that? Does that make sense?
Yep.
I do have a question though, because I know I did notice when we were all marking up as a group that a lot of us still got stuck at like the 4 hour time frame. What do you like? Are there any tips for those of us who, because of course the higher time frame is the easiest. It's just when you get to like the 4 hour and the 1 hour trying to figure it out from there. Do you have like any pointers, tips, or anything like that to kind of get us from that unstuck time frame? Unstuck at that time frame.
Yeah, typically what I typically see when like my students, like when I'm checking my students' homework and everything like that, and typically that's where they get stuck at right after the daily. They like, now what, right? Typically what it is they just start overthinking it, because at that point, let's go to another pair, for instance. At that point, they like, okay, now what? Then they just start drawing everywhere. Because they know that's around the time frame. They're looking for, what do my 4 hour and 1 hour tell me?
When it's ready.
When it's ready.
When it's ready, right? So in their head, they're closer to knowing, because they just thinking in the back of their head, should I buy? Should I sell now? What, this and that. So I just say don't overthink it. All you're literally looking for, let me go to the monthly, is the trend. Don't overthink. You just want to see what type of trend it is. And if you drop down and you don't see a trend, you just drop down another time frame. So here, I'm not even going to talk through this one. I'm going to just go straight through it, right? Just like that. Daily. My daily is showing me was an uptrend, but it broke. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to just drop down straight to my 4 hour. This is where people get stuck. Now, what do my 4 hour tell me? What type of trend?
You're still in a downtrend.
Still in a downtrend.
There you go. I'm still not just still in a downtrend. Don't go off this trend. It's created its own trend. So right now, this is an impulse. What is this?
Correction.
Continuation, at least down to this area. Plain and simple. I'm looking for a short sale. If I want to go deeper, I'll just go to the 1 hour, make sure I confirm that. And I see the same exact thing. Don't confuse yourself. Don't, because you drop down time frames. It's just like what you did on a weekly and a daily. You do the exact same thing on your 4 hour, 1 hour. You just follow the trend. All I did on my 4 hour was just look, see what my trend was. So now, if it breaks here, let's say this flag, let's say this flag breaks sharp though, not just continues to consolidate like this. Let's say it breaks sharp, right? I'll be looking for a buy to this area. And then we can probably see another drop. But for right now, this pattern is showing me a flag. So I'm looking forward to a 120 pip move to the downside. And I want to look, knowing the way, because I'm knowing I'm looking for a sale based off the pattern. I'm looking to enter based off of where am I looking to enter? Can somebody tell me?
At the top of the flag. At the top of the flag?
Somebody said the bottom.
At the bottom.
At the bottom of the flag, because we in a downtrend there.
Well, so I'm looking to enter at the bottom of a flag in the downtrend.
Oh,
No,
that's
you
the
look at the
top.
top of the
Oh,
flag.
the top. Sorry.
So
Yeah.
at the top. So I'm looking. My first place I want to enter is right up here. Hold on, let me delete all of this so you all not getting confused. Remove. All right. So my first place that I'm looking for entry is right up in this area. So guess what? What do I do up here?
You will say, or set
You
alert.
set your alert.
Bingo. I'm about to say sell. Yeah. Set alert because I need to see what price is at once it gets up in this area. I need to see what's going on. I don't sell just because it gets up here because guess what? I can get an impulsive move up here, right? I can get something really, really sharp. So when price gets up here, I look to sell. When price, what's my second time I look to sell?
When price breaks down there.
Right.
That's the ideal.
Exactly. Once it breaks here. Once it breaks here, that lets me know that prices are heading to that downside. Now let's drop down to the 5 minute.
Now, Terrell, when it breaks that line, do we wait for the retest to get in, or?
You don't have to.
Okay.
You can. You don't have to. Typically, if it breaks, you're not gonna get a huge retest. So you have to be on a smaller time frame because remember, it's an overall retest in itself.
Yeah,
So,
perfect example. If you just look left where that previous strong sell, you would have had no chance to wait for a retest.
Which one are you talking about?
Like zoom back in, like where you were, where it broke before it came into that flag, it went straight to the bottom. Yeah, whenever they break out of those, they usually come out pretty aggressive.
Yeah,
You see to the left right there, where it broke that flag, right where your cursor is.
Right here?
Yeah, that one right there, when it broke from the one at the top, it came out real hard.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So,
okay.
Yeah, because it's an overall flag anyway. So once you start seeing that break, just start looking for that entry or whatever. If you miss that top entry right here.
So Terrell, you're talking about the overall, because we're overall in a downtrend. That's when it breaks out of the
When
trend.
I'm talking about overall, I'm talking about us. Remember, what is this right here? What is this?
The flag correction.
Exactly. This is an overall flag. So when I'm saying overall, we're at this point, we've dissected everything inside of here. Now, I just remember everything inside of here is based off of this overall flag. That's what I mean by overall. Now, you can go, I don't want to be technical. We're not talking about the overall downtrend here. No, not that overall. We're talking about just based off of what we're trading off of, we have an overall flag right now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, flag within a flag.
Exactly. So right now, at this point, we're dissecting what's going on inside this flag. So I understand inside this flag, overall, it's a flag nonetheless. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So just for giggles, can anybody tell me what should I be looking for based off what I'm seeing right now inside my flag? What could I possibly see?
Okay, impulse down.
Say that again.
A push up.
A push up, huh? Right. Why do you say a push up?
Because if you keep looking left, it hit that area once, twice. If you look left again, it hit it a third time. So we might see one more push up back up.
Bingo.
And the way it fell so aggressive, we should receive a flag. And that's what time frame is that?
This is the 5 minute.
Oh. Yeah, we should see a push up. Yeah.
Right. So remember, now I actually agree, but the reason why I agree is because if you start the odds are gonna start changing, and it's it's gonna be a lot of things that you're not gonna miss. Some things I just don't miss. Like I seen, not to badger anybody, but Thursday night going into Friday, I called gold for a buy. But somebody who's very popular with trading gold, I believe they called a sell. I'm not sure. from my understanding. It's just something I heard. But it was certain things in that market for gold that I saw a buy that was coming. And sure enough, it shot up 100 plus pips. So with that being said, remember, right now, I'm inside of a what right now on my 5 minute?
A flag.
Inside of a flag. What is this?
Impulse.
Impulse. Flag. Oh, descending channel.
See that? And right now, I'm towards where of this channel?
The very bottom.
Very bottom.
So guess what? I can be getting what?
Shut up.
Another shot at the top of this flag, right?
Looking for buys.
Exactly. What you said? Say that again.
No, I said now you can start looking for buys up to that trend line.
Nah, well, I'm not, because why?
Because you're not a scalper.
Because you're waiting for the bigger move.
Right. I'm waiting for my entry for my sale of this downtrend. That's just going on inside my flag. Like typically, I would look to sell that, look to sell that, look to sell that. Then I let these buys happen. Then I look to sell that. That's it. If you want to look for the buy, but remember, you're in an overall sale. So on this 5 minute, you can get a reversal just up to this area, and then price can shoot down. So I'm not gonna buy, like me, I'm not gonna risk going against the trend for 18, 19 pips, 20 pips. It's just me. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Terrell, if the ascending wedge had not been as close to the bottom as it is, descending wedge rather, would you have taken sales in that area because the overall you're looking for a sale?
No, because only place I'm looking to sell inside the flag is at the top of the flag or at the breakout of the flag. I don't want to get caught up in the middle, especially on high pairs, on high spread pairs, because when that happens, like,
ascending wedge, and I'm asking.
What you say? Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Thought somebody said something. But with that being said, like, no, I don't want to get caught up into selling in this area right here. Like, I don't want to sell here, right? I just showed you all last week how when we catch it from the top or the bottom of a flag, whether we're looking for buys or sales, we can catch 100 pips just inside of a flag before it even give us the real move, right? So I don't want to enter in the middle of a flag because I know it got room to go up and room to go down. And I'll just be at that point hoping. And I have to have a bigger stop loss and all of that. So like with here, let's just say price comes, let's say I enter down here, price comes in the 30 pip drawdown. And most people, because they don't know what I know, they're nervous, right? The reason why they're nervous is because some people even hit their stop losses. They got a 30 pip stop loss and they hit their stop loss, but they stop losses inside the flag. I'm only looking to enter up here or the breakout of here. That's it. Plain and simple. So I'm not looking to enter in the middle. Now, sometimes you get caught entering in the middle. Why? Because the flag created new highs and new lows on you, which that's fine. That's what happens sometimes. But my ultimate goal is to try to get as high as I possibly can in that entry for the sale and for a buy as low as I possibly can. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So always try to stay out of this. Stay out of the middle. Now, it's not going to happen all the time. So I tell people, don't get comfortable having 10 pip stop losses. Like, that's not what's going to happen all the time. Sometimes you're going to enter here, like just right here. 1 touch, 2 touch. This was a 3rd touch, right? 3rd touch. But guess what it did? It created a 13 pip new high, right? Don't always get caught up into having 12, 13 pip stop losses. Sometimes you're going to, like me, if I get up here, just for giggles, I'm going to make sure my stop loss is here. I'm cool with a 19 pip stop loss. I don't care that I don't have a 13 pip. I'm cool with a 20 pip. Like right above this high, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Every trade isn't going to be a no drawdown trade. I know you all would like that. Heck, I would like it, but it's not like that all the time. because these flags create new highs and new lows. So you have to be, be mindful of that. So I just go up above the previous high. Now, if you got something crazy, like I remember this because this is, right? When you had something crazy like this, I had a stop loss here. If you all see this alert, stop loss hit. But it did not come. Because at one point in time, this was our, right here, I was looking for our entry here. Just like here. No, I'm sorry. Let me delete that. Here. Right. Yeah, right here. Right here. So I saw this touch, that touch, this touch. I thought we had, this was our bottom. But guess what price did? Created a new low. Stop loss is all the way down here, though. I don't know where it just went, but you saw us down here. It didn't hit the stop loss, but we had a new low in this flag. Then eventually, guess what happened? Price shot up. TP was smashed. Both of them.
What made you put in that long stop loss after the low was created?
Yeah, because you had that number one, if you know NU, like the spread is low. So this wasn't nothing but a 25, 30 pip stop loss anyways. Yeah, so it was like a 30. It was somewhere down. I don't know what alert just went. Let me refresh and see where it was at. Give me 1 second. But the reason why I did that was because that was a news. Yeah, here you go. Because this was a news candle right here. When we had that New Zealand news a few weeks ago. I don't know if you all remember that. No?
Nah.
Okay, well, we had New Zealand news about 2 weeks ago. 2 to 3, matter of fact.
Yes.
I'll show you more than I'll tell you. It was a bank rate news as well. So, right here. Official, yep. You had the bank rate. So this was that. So it created that big spike. So I put the stop loss. Our entry was right before it actually broke. So going from what a stop loss was to up here, 30 pips. 30 pip stop loss. Something like that. So it may look like a long stop loss, but it wasn't that bad of a stop loss because if you understand NZD USD, it's a low spread. This big gap like this on something like gold, this probably easily 150 pips. You know what I'm saying? But so that's why I did that. Instead of me, like most people would have put the stop loss here underneath the low. I don't want to risk that much. But me understanding this pair, I understand. I mean, we haven't went over fibs. Some of you all say you love fibs, so I'm sure you all have some type of knowledge on it. 618. I wanted to make sure it was underneath the 618 when it was all said and done. Because I understand my flag can go as low. It's pretty much what I personally look for is the golden ratio of the 618. So I had stop loss here at the 786. Does that make sense?
And you put that before the low was created?
Yeah, before a new low was created, yeah. Because I understood price could come here at the 618. And sure enough, perfectly smacked the 618. Perfectly. Or whatever. And then it took off. So like I said, price can create new lows and create new highs and flags. You just have to be mindful of that.
Hey, Terrell, will you hold your crosshair over like the bottom of that? Because I'm trying to hold your crosshair over the bottom right there. If you guys look left, you'll see a lot of times you'll see me put the little horizontal rays. I'm looking left at like where it was bouncing. I always pay attention to those. You'll see my crosshairs there a lot on my, not my crosshairs, but you see it on my charts where I'll have like the little horizontal ray. I'm basing it off when I look left and I see all those little touches. And like you saw when I took that goal and I had like a 7 pipettes, it was 7 pipettes from one of those little touches right there. So I always pay attention to those. And like he said, it was at a 618.
Yeah.
So you'll see it always come back and retest. And if he goes to the one previous, it probably hit the top of that. Like go to the next one up, Terrell, from there. Like go down to the bottom right there. You see where it hit that exact same spot? That's why y'all see me putting my little horizontal rays. And that just comes from training your eye and doing the same thing over and over again. You'll start picking up on this stuff.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But like for those of you who asked Terrell, remember Thursday when we were on the London session and y'all were charting and y'all were talking about getting lost at your 4 hour and 1 hour. I told you, like he just showed you today, you have to talk your way through it. And y'all were asking me what to do next, and I made you talk your way through it. Just think of when you're looking at monthly, weekly, and daily, it's like you have an aerial view. You see everything that's going on. When you get down to the 1 hour and 4 hour, it's like now you're boots on ground. You can't see anything beyond that. If you're lost, you have to zoom out and just like refocus to where you are. Because when you're in the 1 hour and 4 hour, now it's like you're on the ground walking around. And so it's easy to lose your place. So just back out to the daily. And if the daily is making a correction, then it's you found your place. You just have to find your place sometimes, refocus.
Yeah, and it's just understanding time frames. As you get more knowledgeable and things like that, like you gonna always like time frames is gonna become more clear for you. That's it. So does that all make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Any other questions with anything?
Thank
Before we
you.
get into this?
Terrell, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
When you show the trading, like I trade from the zone to the zone, as you indicated, and you said you can expect 120 pip drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you show how you can do a TP1 and 2? Because sometimes you might get the 80 or whatever. Can you just show how you can do a TP1?
Yeah. So, like you say, from here to here, that's about 120 pip drop from where you look left. So let's go back to the 1 hour. So it depends on where you want to look at your TPs from. Depends on what type of, if you suggest scalping, intraday, whatever the case may be, right? So because I'm going off the 1 hour or whatever, all you do, literally, when you look for stop losses and TPs, you just look left. So entry here, let's say I enter here on the break, my first TP, me personally, I would look, you can either look at the top or you can look at the bottom. I'll look at the bottom because I'm more of a, I want as many as I can. This will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3. Does that make sense? So TP1 from my entry, if I enter now, 50 pips. TP2, 70. TP3, 110, 120. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Like I was saying, you can look to the top or the bottom. If you all see, I looked at the bottom of each one. So let's say we go to the top. Here's the top here, right? Here's the top here. And then you just still had that. So however you want to look at it. I'll look at the bottom because I know because I'm in the overall sale, I get more pips at the bottom. So this is literally 10 pips. Some people, they trade 10 pips. That'll be their TP1. This, 60 pips. You can actually, even if you don't want that big one, you go to this top right here, all right? So that'll be 1. 10 pips is 1. 30 pips is 2. 60 pips is 3. Then if you want to be, greedy, you still go to that bottom. But if you only doing so does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Terrell, so that's on the 1 hour. You would be actually entering your trade on the 1 hour with these take profits, or would you drop down to the 5 minutes?
No, remember when I enter off of the smaller time frame. My entries are just the smaller time frames are strictly just for that purpose alone. What time frames do I trade off of?
The 1 hour.
The 1 hour.
1 hour and 4 hours. So I'm looking for my pips. My stop loss, I found my stop loss on my, because I don't want to hit my stop loss, right? Hitting my stop loss is a bad thing, correct?
Correct.
Right. So because I want to risk my bad thing as less as I possibly can. So my smaller time frame, I find my stop loss on my smaller time frame. But my take profits, I want to find it on my higher time frames because the bigger the time frame, the bigger the what? The pips, right?
Right.
The bigger the pips. I want bigger pips. So I'm looking for my take profits on my time frames that I actually trade off of. My 1 hour, my 4 hour, heck, my daily. I don't look for it on a daily, but I know the possibilities. Does that make sense? Remember, I just told you all this is TP3, which is 100 plus pips. But if I come to the daily, give me 1 second. Maybe that was it, and I just don't remember. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, that was the daily. We just had a very, very low on AU. But sometimes, like, you can go off your daily. I think it's GU. Is it UCAD? Maybe it's gold. Let me see. Maybe it's gold. One of these pairs, if you like trading off the daily for TPs, like your TP would be something nuts. Like, yeah, well, this is one. This is what I was looking for, but this is a possibility. So going off the daily, what's going on right now in gold? Based on what I'm seeing on my daily.
It's a downtrend.
Flag.
A flag.
It's correcting. It's a flag.
Just like I got that, I can get this, right? Now from what price is currently at, that's a 770 pip take profit. But do I want a 770 pip take profit? Me personally, no. We all know how crazy gold is. Gold can do all types of stuff before that 770 pip take profit. So I go down to my 1 hour, and now I'm looking left. I understand price can come. Price can come here, right? So it can just retest. Now understand what this is. What I just did right here, right? Look left. Look at this. What is this? What is this area right now?
A place of resistance.
It's a bottom of this flag. So just to make it more simpler for you all, that's it. It's just all about how you use your trend lines. Doesn't this look familiar?
Yes.
That's it. That is it. That is it. That is it. It's just the bottom of the flag. So this could be my first TP. First TP, how many pips is that? Can somebody tell me that?
Was that 131?
133.
131.
Exactly. 130 pips. Inside
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's a Brinks truck, baby.
This is 130 pips in the flag. First TP. We didn't even get the real move yet. Remember, this is our impulsive move. This is one big flag for me. The eyes will start training. You'll start seeing it. That's one TP. So I'm still on my hour. Give me 1 second.
So right there, Terrell, either you can, for instance, you can sell at the top of that flag, and if it hit the bottom, you TP and get out. Or if it break, you wait for the retest and get back in.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So, like, matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do. Because this is how I usually do, like, with my IML team, like, when I'm giving out trades. A lot of them don't realize it because I'm giving them 10-pip trades. Because, you know, as a new trader, some of you all probably just got out of that stage. Heck, you don't know. You just see your stuff in blue. You don't know if you, like, where you at in the market. You just, oh, I'm blue, this and that, right? So I give them a trade here. I tell them enter here at the top of the flag. And because I'm literally giving them trades based off of the 5-minute time frame, this is their TPs. 1 TP. I'm looking at 2 TP, 3 TP. I'm not even giving them to the top of the flag. Now, understand, to the bottom of the flag, I'm sorry. That's 30 pips. That's 60 pips or 70 pips. And this right here is 100 pips. So me personally, I ain't giving them no 100 pip take profits. But that's the point is, depending off the time frame you're trading off of, that's what you can do. You can find take profits in any time frame. It just depends on where you decide that you want to trade off of. I trade off the 1 hour because I know that those are the bigger pips. That's the time frame I'm looking for price to do what it's doing. So I just break it all the way down to the smaller time frames for the entries. So if I enter now, my first take profit will be at the bottom of the flag per se. My second take profit will be right here at this area, somewhere right here in this area right here, right? And then third can be all the way down where? Here. If you look left, Where is that? Let me zoom back to the 4 hour so you all can see. Look what my third take profit is at. Where is that at? Back at this trend line. You see that?
Amazing.
That's it.
Y'all know my saying, it's not magic, it's market structure.
That's it. That is it. So you just have to determine, like, you all will figure it out as you progress in your trading career. It'll come. Like, I used to have those same questions. I remember I asked my mentor, like, how you this and that, and he made it sound so easy, you know, but it really is. Like, but when he showed me that first time, I'm like, oh, okay. So you just looking for this. It makes sense. I used to just look at his charts when he used to give out trades, and he had just like have boom, 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 these 3 areas, right? And I looked left and I saw that's what he did. So it just makes sense, like, once you get used to it. But that's all it is. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing, it's not like rocket science. So don't think you all won't understand it. All you're doing is looking left for your possibilities.
Hey, Terrell, on those take profits, how would you compound on those?
We're going to go over that this afternoon.
Okay.
That's a great question, though.
Also, I have one more question. When you're like doing your long-term trades, how do you manage those? Like, how often are you going back looking at them? Or are you just setting something like an alert or something to alert you to look at it?
That is a great question. Also, we're going to go over that this evening as well. Also, I'm actually going to go over that in a few minutes when we get to Rankos as well, too. So you already ahead of the game ×2.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. So anybody got any questions before we go ahead and take this thing over to Rankos?
Can you just recap entries?
Again?
Entering the market. Just recap it.
I just did that, but
my internet went down. So.
Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. And this me and you talking right now, right? This is me and you talking. So, where do I enter in the market?
What do you mean by that?
Where do I enter in the market? It may sound like a crazy question, but you want to recap on entries. You at least need to know. Nobody type it up. I don't know if somebody typed it, whatever. Nothing. Yeah, no cheating. So you want to recap on entries, but you at least need to know where to enter in the market. And you're probably saying to myself, well, that's why I'm asking you. But it's not. It may sound like it is, but it's not. So you tell me, where do I enter in the market? How does the market move?
Impulse, correction, and continuation.
Continuation, right? Okay, cool. So based off of how the market moves, where do I enter?
You want to enter at the impulse correction. Continuation.
Say that again.
Continuation.
You asking or you telling? I want you to tell.
Telling you.
You telling me? Okay, cool. That's wrong. The market moves 3 ways, right? Impulse, flag, continuation. This is the area every single time where you look to enter. Where is that? Hello?
The flag.
No, don't nobody help her. Got to make sure she get it. This our last day. Say that again.
What was the question again?
How does the market move?
Impulse, flag, continuation.
Okay. What is this right here?
The continuation. I meant the flag.
Okay. So where do I enter the market?
At the end of the flag.
At the end of the flag or in the flag?
In the flag.
In the flag, right? I'm always looking for my entry here in my flag.
Right.
So with that being said, what is this?
Impulse.
What is this?
Flag.
What is that?
Continuation.
Okay, cool. So where do I enter?
In And the flag.
And the flag, right? So that's a great question. Now, that's a great answer. I'm sorry. So now, all I do with my flag is I verify my highs and my lows of my flag. That's all I do. That's all I'm doing. So I understand this is a flag. Now you're probably asking yourself, well, how do I know this was right there? Boom. So right now, what I see, if this was happening in real time, first thing I'm doing, let me take this off. This is what I see right now. This is the first thing that I see. I see a flag forming. I don't have highs and lows just yet, right?
Yes.
So all I'm looking at is that. That's my first entry is where? The break of here. That's my first entry. So when I enter there, at the break of there, at this point, I'm up how many pips?
30.
30 pips right now, correct? Let me slow this down a little bit for you. I'm risk-free. I'm up 30 pips. I'm risk-free. Let's put that, let's make sure we put that into play, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So price comes back up, of course, this and that. Stumps me out in profits. Keep letting that, at this point, I'm sorry. I kept going. I should have kept going. I meant to pause it. I'm sorry. But once it stumped me out in profits, at this point, can anybody tell me, class participation, what do I currently have now that I did not have at my prior entry?
A new low?
Say that again.
Would that be a new low?
Close.
You had a retest.
Technically, I did, but not what I'm looking for. Can anybody tell me what I had?
A trend. A new flag from the higher.
Exactly. At that point, now I have actual highs and lows in my flag. This is now considered my high. At one point, price just went straight up, and then it broke it. So I entered because I could have possibly got a continuation to the downside from that flag. But at this point, now I'm starting to see that playing around in the flag. So now I know this is a high. I know this is a low. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right. Okay, cool. So now remember, I just got him out of an easy 30 pips. Maybe not the whole 30, but maybe I got 20 pips out of it, whatever, because it shot up and stumped me out. Heck, maybe I didn't get anything out of it. Maybe I just moved my stop loss in front of profit, and I probably got a few dollars just once it hit my whatever. That's not the point. The point is, the point is that now I can identify the highs and the lows of this actual flag. So now that I identify the highs and the lows of my flag, what do I do once I identify my high?
You start going to low now, looking for entry in the lower time frame.
Even before I do that, what's the very next thing I do? I just drew these two trend lines.
Set your alert.
There you go. I set my alert. My alert got set. Boom. I understand this is a high, and now at this point, I'm looking what you just said. I go down to that smaller time frame, and I'm once my alert get hit, I'm starting to look for those actual entries. Plain and simple. Retest. Continuation. That's it. That is it. Does that make sense?
A lot of sense.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Bingo. That's it. That's it. That's all. So was that a good enough recap for you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And again, remember it's recorded, so you can always go back. But yeah, like that's literally all I look for when it comes to looking for my entries. Now remember, I enter different ways as well. But if you can understand that what I just went over right there, you're gonna find your own entry strategies. But it's all gonna, if you can enter the market using no tools, when you apply tools to it as well, it's gonna be like, I mean, come on, man. Like REG trade had absolutely no drawdown, and that trade is the slowest pair in the market, one of the slowest. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna get to a point where it's like, man, that's not gonna be all the time, but majority of the times your entries are just gonna be on point or whatever. Like a lot of people got stumped out of ECAD. I'm sorry. A lot of people got stumped out of ECAD at the beginning of the week show that really quick. Y'all said it was the 18th, right? Monday? Yeah, let's do that. Go to the 18th. A lot of people got stumped out of here. Now, the reason why people got stumped out of here is number one, is because it reversed, right? Like it reversed on me as well. But I didn't lose money on it. Why? Because my dang on entry was right here. This was my entry right here. Just like that. Just like that. This was my entry here. So by the time it decided to reverse, I was already up. Granted, I didn't make any money off of it, but I was already up 25 pips. Right? So that stop loss came in front of my profits at that point, because I was at least looking for price to shoot down here. So just inside this overall flag, I had a potential 80 pip move inside the flag. Right? So my stop losses moved in front of that. At that point, I was just letting it ride, and it ended up coming back and, you know, shooting up, of course. But the point is, it just stumped me out right there with no loss. A lot of people lost big money on this. Does that make sense? But it's all based off of my entry, because where I entered the market at.
Hey, Terrell.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, how do you, okay, first of all, you don't know when the flag's going to end, right? So
Nope.
you're still going up and down within the flag. How do you not get caught up in that little crossfire there where you don't lose money in the flag? Because at some point that flag is going to come to an end. So I'm trying to understand when it's going to come to an end or how it's going to come to an end.
Well, I guess I'm confused on the question, number one. And number two, you're never going to know when something's coming to an end. You just understand, like, as a trader, you can be the best trader in the world. You can always, like, know what pair is about to do what. You just never know when. That's like, people donate their money to the markets because they get scared they're in red, even though they knowledge telling them sell, because they looking at the money and not the pips. Like, you can literally, I was down $500 in a trade. This is about 2 weeks ago. Matter of fact, it was that NZD USD I just showed you all. And I had a conversation with my team. They saw me down $500 and they was going crazy. But I had 5 standards. I'm like, y'all don't realize this ain't nothing but 10 pips. So that's what freaks people out. You'll never know when a trade is gonna start doing what it's doing. You just use your structure, your knowledge, and based off of, like, this is a trade that I would have legit got kicked out of if I didn't have the entry that I had. Because why? This showed as a flag and then it reversed. So a lot of people got kicked out of that. But for the most part, typically, if you get that impulsive move, so if you get that, try to find something a little cleaner for you. It's pretty clean. Ain't the cleanest, but you get this impulsive move right here. You get this flag, right? You see all of this wick exhaustion. You see all of this scattered inside of this flag. You can get scared. Price drop all the way down there, then shoot all the way back up, then come all the way. You know what I'm saying? All of this happens inside this flag. If you don't know what you're looking at, you get scared. But ultimately, I understand that I don't know when it's going to happen. This flag started August 8th, and it did not end until, hey, you can also, if you actually want to, it just created another low. So if you want to count it, you can count it. I personally wouldn't count it on the normal, but because we can use this as a cheat sheet because it already happened, this flag did not end until when it originally officially broke out, August 30th. So this is a flag that was almost 3 weeks in.
Right. I'm just trying to understand is there any way to prep yourself beforehand before it actually breaks out? Because in the meantime, you're profiting within the flag. Eventually, it's going to come to an end. I'm just trying to.
And remember, that's why he told you don't get in the middle of a flag.
Right,
If you don't catch the top or the bottom, you stay out.
Right.
He called the top, so he was safe.
This all I'm doing. I'm only looking to catch the top of this sale. This is my impulse that's letting me know I'm looking for a sale. So now am I entering down here for the sale? Or am I chasing the buy down here? What is this right here? If I was to zoom out I mean, zoom in. What is that at the bottom of my flag?
That's a flag.
Descending.
Yeah, it's a descending channel. I'm not looking to catch this buy. Remember, I just showed you all on AU how we got this descending channel. And somebody say you can scalp to the top. This didn't even come to the top. Just like I said, it could come here and then decide to fall. I'm not looking for that. So if I didn't catch this up here, then guess what I'll be doing? All I'm doing is I'm waiting for this break. That's it.
I'm not gonna wait.
So you'll never know when. That's not our job to know when.
Wait a
Job
million
is-
years
Like, we just know what's going to happen.
and react.
Exactly.
We're minimizing our risk.
Say that again.
We're minimizing our risk.
Hey, exactly.
These trend lines, we are going to lose. And that last illustration, it looks like some they call it like a fake out.
Yeah, this was like, people would get weirded out by this. And just to, before I go too far ahead, let me put this right here. People would get weirded out by this. This would really freak people out when it comes to that. But I know we didn't get there just yet. But all that wicking out, that up and down crap, look how clean that is. This showed me my clear highs and my clear lows on Rinkos. So no matter how many times that thing did what it was doing on flags, I'm good because I understand I'm still in what? In post, big flag, continuation. I see it nice and clear, nice and clean. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
You'll never know when. You just know what. I know this is a flag. That's it. I don't know when it's going to get ready and do its drop. 3 weeks later, would you have the patience to wait 3 weeks? And every time price comes to the top, I look to enter. Come to the top, I look to enter. Come to the top, I look to enter. For 3 weeks.
So
Right.
Terrell, if you have that confit, every time it touches the top, do you enter again and compound and put multiple entries?
Yeah, I've done it before. Depending on like how it looks at the top of that flag, because again, it can create a new high. Like I did it with Gigi a few times. Me and her was talking. Remember Gigi? I did it with you, Chef, and then I told you I'm putting 10 standards on it this time, and we had like literally zero.
And I hate you, Chef, but boy, did I make some money in that little channel from the top.
Yeah, I like literally. I mean, I probably can't find it, but it was literally it was.
And it was on the 5 minute. It was like dropping like 20, 40 pips every time from the 5 minute.
Right, every exactly. We was on the 5 minute.
And you said GG sell it every time it hits the top, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I made me
And
some
I put
money.
10 standards on it, and I think I made I think it was like 5,000 or something, like before the market closed. It was like a Friday.
And then you were like, I said I wasn't gonna trade anymore this week, but
right, exactly. It was something crazy.
Yeah, you made a $6,000 day.
I think it was like this. I think this was it actually. This could have been it. Let me look at the date. This could have this is October 19. No, it was somewhere over here. It was like this was a few months back. But yeah, all I do is just wait for it to keep hitting that top. That's it. Just keep waiting for it to hit that top. And at some point, that bad boy, we had zero drawdown too. Me and her was, I think we was texting on
somebody's saying dang, but just remember, he had only been trading like a good solid year at this time. So it's coming. After Terrell learned this stuff, he made his first 6 figures in 7 months, guys. I remember you had been trading about, what, 5 months when you had the $16,000 day on one pair?
Yeah.
And it was right before Thanksgiving.
It was actually.
It was in October.
5 days, it was November. It was November 18th, so it's 5 days ago from a year from now.
That he had his first 5-figure day, and it was $16,000.
Yeah.
That's when he knew. He's like, it's over. I own this. You know, you've been doing this for 5 months or 6 months, and you have like a $16,000 day. He didn't trade all week. He waited for the perfect setup and called GJ.
Yep. Right.
And then he discovered his Renko strategy that he's going to teach you.
Yeah. So this is literally like right after. Can anybody tell me what this is?
Ascending flag.
An ascending channel.
Yeah. So look at the date on here when we caught this. So it's just a year from now. Like, I was when I caught this, right? Just a year ago. So that's why I kept telling everybody, like, look what I'm looking for. I'm getting this. I'm catching that. So I actually caught GJ from the top. I think last week you all know, I think you all remember me talking about this. Let me see if I can refresh it. Should still be on there. It may not be on there no more because it hit. But the point is, guess what I had right here at the top of this?
An alert?
Exactly. I had an alert because of this wick. I had 2 alerts. I had an alert here. I had a alert here because this was a high, but clearly it had broke that. Nice and aggressive. I had an alert here. So one said entry, one said ideal entry. Hit that ideal entry. Look what happened here. What is that?
Wick entry.
See that? Zoom in.
Nice wick. Perfect wick.
Exactly. Beautiful. And what did it create right after that? Impulse. Flag. Right? This was from this flag to my ideal, to my not to my ideal entry. This is the ideal entry. Just from this flag to my first entry was a move of over 80 pips. Now, we're still in this overall channel. 210 pips right now. We're not even at the bottom of that channel yet. It's always all about knowing where you are in the market. This is the bottom of the channel. From here to here to the bottom of the channel, 245 pips. And remember, what am I looking for overall? Just like I got that, I'm looking for this. So we still ain't break the bottom of the channel yet. From the bottom to the bottom of the channel is 245 pips. That's a 400 pip move that I'm expecting. But it's all because I know where I'm at. Time frame to time frame. Channel to channel. Make sense?
Makes sense.
These alerts, man, these alerts are life-saving for me. I told you, like, that's all I pretty much use alert. TPs, XYZ. Anytime you see TP1 and TP2 and all of that, that's for my team when I'm giving out trades for the most part. But other than that, like, look, ideal entry, ideal. Like, that's it. That's the GJ. That's the ideal GJ entry I was just telling you all about. Like, NU. Like, yeah, that's all I got. Alerts, alerts, alerts. I love alerts. Love alerts. So, any questions on that before we get into Rankos?
No.
All good? Everybody ready?
That was awesome.
Ready.
Thank you so much for the recap.
No problem, no problem. Okay, cool. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes of Rankos, right? Now, and actually, I'm gonna go back to GJ just so I can show you all. Now, literally, when I teach Rankos, I'm not just like anything else in my teaching. Pretty. I don't know if you all can tell now, but I'm pretty, basic. Like, I don't try to complicate things. I don't over whatever. I try to dumb it down as much as I possibly can. I don't dumb it down because I feel like you all are dumb. I dumb it down because I had to understand things as basic as possible in my head. So I teach it as basic as possible, just like I learned it, right? I'm not the technical person. I'm not about to go out here and just give you 100 definitions and no, you want to know all that? Google is a great source for that. I'm just not that person, right? I don't try to I don't want to be that know-it-all person. Some people like to trade and teach people. They want to be a know-it-all. They want to try to, that's not me. I don't proclaim to try to be that. I'm just a profitable trader. That's it. I don't need to be a rocket science to make money in the market. I just hit buy or I hit sell. I just need to understand what I'm looking for before I do that, right? So the reason why I say all of that is because with Rankos, is literally, this is me teaching a 5-year-old how to trade. This is the first thing I'm teaching them when I'm teaching. Like the first thing I'm teaching a 5-year-old, I have nieces and nephews. I have a 14-year-old private student that he's making more money than probably all my other students combined, because like I literally taught him this simple strategy. This is me teaching you like a 5-year-old, and it's gonna take your trading to the next level. Like honestly, every single dime that you paid for this training, this lesson right here alone for these next 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes is gonna be worth every single penny, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, right? It's simply with this right here. So hold on, somebody sent something in the chat. I know we'll get. Oh, okay, cool. My bad. I keep forgetting Grant here. My bad, Grant. So I'm gonna switch over to Rankos, right? Now, when I use Rankos, Gigi did a great job explaining to you all what Rankos pretty much is, as far as like, you know, it's pure price, stuff like that. So I don't have to do that. Usually I get into all of that. I won't have to do that now. That's why it's gonna be much faster. Now, this is the one time you all will see me and praise a indicator. See, I got my template. This is, I put B for Banks, T Banks. This is my money. This is my money template when it comes to Rankos is like, man, if it wasn't for Rankos, man, like Rankos changed my life. I'm gonna just put it that way. So what I typically have when it comes to my indicators is I have EMAs, 2 EMAs. I have a 9 EMA, aka blue. You all see this, right? This is a 9 EMA. I have a 50 EMA, aka red, right? And then I have what you would call a MACD. I have the regular MACD on here. This is not a modified MACD. All you have to do is literally go to indicators, type in MACD, no space, the very first one. That's it. Nothing special. I told you I'm basic. I don't get into all the trying to, you know, modify and change all this. None. I just need what I need right then and there. So with that being said, oh my God, Gigi, do you see this? You don't even see this.
Huh. Yes, I do.
Okay, I didn't even look at this. Oh my God.
Yeah, I see that.
I didn't even look at this.
And I think we
now.
might be getting it on gold too. Eric mentioned it the other day.
My bad, y'all. We already got it on gold. That's beautiful. I told everybody. What did I tell everybody last week? We got a big sale coming. Big sale. But anyways, I know we ahead of the game now. But oh my God, I'm like, it's almost.
Okay, prepare to have your minds blown. That's all I gotta say.
It's 20.
Y'all better make some money.
Okay, cool. So with that being said, guys, matter of fact, I'm gonna come back to GJ. I'm gonna go somewhere else first. I don't want y'all to. Let me go somewhere else first. Let's go to UCAD. Let's go to UCAD. That's beautiful. Matter of fact, because I can show you all on UCAD as well. So we're gonna go back to GJ or whatever. We may be a little late before our lunch. We'll just extend it. I hope y'all cool with that or whatever. But anyways, so typically when it comes to Rankos, all I do is I just use my 9 EMA, the blue line, and I wait for the blue line to cross the red line. That's it. When the blue line is underneath the red line, you're in the overall what? Can anybody help me out with that?
Downtrend.
Overall sell, right? And whenever it's above, the blue line is above the red line, you're in the overall what?
Buy.
Buy, right? Now, at this exact same time as this blue line crosses this red line, my blue EMA crosses my 9 EMA crosses my 50 EMA. Guess what happens at the exact same time as that cross?
Your MACDs are crossing at the
My
bottom.
MACD crosses as well. Now, my MACD crosses my histogram. Now, remember, we're dealing with pure price. Now, if I go to candles, that same area, you see, this already crossed. It's not pure price. It's already crossed. I got wicks out, wicks, all of this and all of that. You see, it already crossed. It did all types of things because Rankos is going to tell you the facts. It's going to tell you the honest to God truth. Wicks, although I could have caught it right here on candles for the most part, because somebody greedy may be saying, well, why didn't I just look on candles and get that? Because this isn't always the truth. And I'll show you an example later. But that's why I love Rankos. It's not fluffing with me. It's giving me is being real with me, right? So once this cross, and that cross at the exact same time, that lets me know I have for sure a downtrend on my 1 hour. I'm on my 1 hour time frame. This cross right here gave me a move of over 400 plus pips, right? Anybody, everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now, this cross here gave me a move of over 240 pips. Now, understanding, we're dealing with pure price, and we're on a 1 hour time frame. So when I see these crosses, I know price is getting ready to go into that direction a lot. Like a big move is happening because pure price is pretty much going. It's on its way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions on that?
Yes.
Any questions? No questions?
Fire.
Say that again.
Fire.
Exactly. It's literally me teaching a little kid how to trade. I just tell them when the blue line go underneath the red line, you look to sell. When it go above the red line, you look to buy. Just make sure at the exact same time this blue line go underneath the red line, the lines go through this mountain looking thing. This is how I tell them. This is called a histogram. So I tell them, make sure it's going through this mountain at the same exact time. That's it. Now, with that being said, now I'm going to show you why this is such a big deal. Any questions on that before I go into the next thing? Everybody understands that, correct?
I understand it. Can you set an alert on your EAs?
I never did. I'm not sure. Gigi, is that something you could do?
Yeah, remember how I was showing you side by side when you have them? Because you can't put alerts on Rincos, but you can on candles. And that's when I did the side by side. And I put it on my candles, and you can put an alert for the crossing of EMAs. And for your MACD. You can put an alert for the crossing of your MACD. I do that as well.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Teaching the 5-year-olds, it's just no market structure, just the red and the blue line and the
That's
MACD.
it. Like literally with this strategy alone, I told you all, this strategy alone, like this alone is worth every penny you actually paid. But everything else you all got is just like bonus.
He's not showing you 5, 10, 15 pips. This right here is his like #1 swing trade strategy. You're not going here just to jump in and out of the market.
Yeah, this right here alone is gonna say, and then y'all about to be mind blown when y'all see this. Like, I want to show you all. So I'm gonna go back to candles, right? And I'm gonna go back to last year. This exact same time last year. Well, probably in December. Not probably, it is in December. So I'm gonna go to last year real quick. We're going to go March line, October 2018. Where the heck is it? Oh, gotta be right here, right? December 2018, right? So December 2018, I was a seller here. Can anybody tell me why was I a seller here last year, 2018? Anybody?
Zone. Every time I touch there.
Right. Because when I saw this, I got a drop, right? When I saw this, right? Got a drop. So guess what? I saw us here. Guess what I was looking to do?
Drop again.
Looking to sell, right? Right. So with that being said, let me drop down to the 1 hour. So I'm at the 1 hour right now, right? So this is actually before this happened. So I wish I could go back to delete some more, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you all. If you all get confused, I'll delete it. But at the time, guess what? I was a seller here. I saw this impulsive move, right? What was this at the time in my head?
The correction.
So I sold here, stop loss here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Sold here, stop loss there. Needless to say, hey, that trade got me, right? It smacked me. So in my head, I'm like, what the hell? So if I keep fast forwarding it, you see price, I'm steady continuously. Like me, I'm steady trying to catch a sale. I'm steady selling. At this point, I'm new. I'm not new, but I'm still learning. This is my first winter that, you know, so I'm steady looking for the sale. And guess what's steady happening?
It's steady going up.
It's going up.
It's steady. Like, has this happened to anybody before? Like, I'm steady seeing flag. I see a flag, I'm looking to sell. I see a flag, I'm looking to sell. And it's steady doing the exact same thing, right? It just keeps going up. Make sense? So at some point, I'm like, you know what, forget this or whatever. So anyways, let me take that off. Let me go back to that area. I don't want all that drawing right there, so you all not getting confused. So I'm gonna delete all of that again. We take all of that. So I'm gonna take it out before that big drop happened, right? So you all not confused. So going back to the 1 hour, I personally love the 1 hour time frame for Rankos. When I go to Rankos, now at the time I did not know this. At the time I did not know this. This is why you always continue to learn. Look at my Rankos where I decided to enter the market right here. Right? When I decided to enter the market, it gave me that flag. I call myself entering in the flag where at the top of the market. What happened? Why did I enter?
Your EMA. Well, no, that's wrong. Never mind.
Right. It did not cross. I'm entering in an overall what? Uptrend. Price clearly was above my histogram this whole time. I'm steady looking for a sale when it's clearly in the uptrend. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Nice and clear, right? So at that time, this is literally when we just start testing, and literally December, late December, right? It had to be, I want to say it had to be somewhere around the 20, it was like right before Christmas, like the 22nd, 23rd, something like that. Nothing, whatever. Around that time is when we had already knew about Rankos, but we did the back testing. Me and my mentor, me and him was literally studying this something like crazy with each other, right? And I'm like, man. So guess what? January 3rd of the new year. Look what happened.
Your EMAs cross and your histogram cross. There's your drop.
At the exact same time, right? And then, with that being said, this was a weekly engulfing. That alone produced me over 400 pips. I made over $10,000 in a week. Out of all of those times that price kept shooting up on me and I kept losing all that money, when I learned, like, that's why I tell people you should never lose. Like, it's never a loss. Like, people get down when they lose and this and that. They go crazy. You never lose, you always learn. You either win or you learn, one or the other. It's never a loss. Because if it wasn't for this loss, I would have never known this to actually come back and see it. I would have never learned it. So I understand flag patterns. This flag happened, right? And I continued and I stayed in. I stayed in this for over 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think, something like that. This was my longest swing trade, was UCAT. Because at that point, it was like from this entire drop here, and I think somebody asked the question earlier, when do you know how to this swing and all of this and all of that, right? Where in this trade, based off of this entire drop, where did price tell me to get out in this entire trade right here?
It didn't, because you're still below your 9. Your 9 is still above.
Geez Louise. So do you see how, like, I can literally tell a little kid, if this blue line isn't by this red line, just stay in. Does that make sense? It got to the point where I was like, I'm not even looking to see where my money is at on my phone in my MetaTrader 4. I can care less about that. I'm coming straight to my trading view just to see where this 9 EMA is at. This is the only time I'm even thinking about possibly pulling out of my trade. Possibly. But based on my knowledge, I still didn't pull out just because I understood what? A flag for a higher time frame. What do we talk about? Understand the time frames. A flag for a higher time frame, aka my daily, was due. Why? Because I just got a big drop and all that was one red brick. That's still underneath. You see that? It was just one big drop. If I switch the candles, you'll see it was just in a flag pattern. Like you can see the patterns or whatever. So everything that we're teaching you, you understand. And let me go back to Rankos and go back to the daily. I'm to the 1 hour. Yep, right there. So I understood that was a flag happening right there, just off my knowledge. So my entry was here, and you mean to sit here and tell me from my entry, I had no worries for over 400 pips to get out, just based off looking at a line. I didn't care about what the money was saying. I just knew this thing was nowhere near going towards that line at the time. So I was comfortably selling and holding the trade for over 400 pips without second guessing, getting scared, getting wick, like seeing wicks and all of that. I was able to look at my Rankos, pure price, and understand pure price was nowhere near to where I needed to actually get, was nowhere near to actually getting out. Well, I could continue to keep milking that. Does that make sense? Any questions on any of that?
I do. I have a
Yes.
question. So on your Rinkos, do you enter on your 1 hour, or do you drop down to your 5-minute Rinko for your early entry?
You're ahead of the game, but that's a great question. I
Oh,
actually dropped
sorry.
down, and I'll show you all that soon as well. You got to understand Rankos before I show you how to enter on Rankos. You don't understand Rankos or understand the concept of this, then yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Make sense? Okay. Cool.
I have a question. Would you have gotten out of that trade when your MACD crossed on the bottom?
Right here?
Yes. No, to the left.
Right
to the
here?
right. To the right, where it crossed going back up.
Right
Nope,
here?
to the left. Where the lines on the MACD, the signal lines. Yeah, right down
No.
there.
All this signal? No, of course not. I'm still underneath the overall what? Histogram. Like, you don't care about these lines. Only thing this is doing, and I'll show you all. This blue line is pretty much a representative of this blue line. This is your signal line, right? So this blue line crosses down. This red line is a representative of this line as well. All this is telling me is that it's a pullback. Once it start crossing this histogram though, this histogram cross is where I start, man, should I get out? Me personally, I did it because I understand flag patterns. And if you look at this on candles, switch over to candles. We actually talked about that last week. You all probably don't remember. Look at the pattern. What does that look like? What was that scaling up like? Corrective, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that was a flag. I knew it was just a flag for me. So based off of that knowledge, I still didn't get out. But that's the only time that I would look to get out, when the blue line is crossing the red line, crossing back over the red line.
And that's why I started trading them side by side, guys, so you'll know where you are and make a good decision.
Right. So like Gigi was saying with that, if I go, click that and go back to UCAD in that area.
Trust me, TradingView is a tool of the trade, and if you want to be a professional, go ahead and upgrade. If you want to, it's going to pay for itself.
Yep. So 1 hour, January, there's June. Go to January.
Hit your 4 hour on your candles. I think they're both on hour.
Well, no, I ain't doing that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. This and that is the same. So if I'm looking at this pattern, I just got this huge drop. We know the market don't just go straight down or straight up. We know that. So just looking at this pattern, I already know this is a flag anyways. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. So, but if I was just looking at pure this and I don't know flag patterns and all of that, this is the first time I'm even thinking about closing my trade right here. This is the very first time. At that point, I already caught a trade of over 400 pips. I've already been up 400 plus pips. So I can care less if it starts to, if this is my first indication, so what? Who cares? Right? You're not going to not be risk-free. And not only that, do you know how long typically how long it's going to take for price to get all the way back up there? Right? Any questions on that?
Yes, somebody was asking about the EMAs. Guys, make sure you use EMA and not just regular moving average. Make sure you have EMA, the exponential moving average, and he's got 9 for his blue and 50 for his red, 9 for his blue, and 50 for his red.
Makes sense? Any questions on that? Let me see. Do you use the smoothie? EMAs? No, not for this. I do have smoothie EMAs, but not for this. Use it for something else. Okay. Does anybody have any questions with that so far?
Yeah, Terrell, I wanted to ask you, does the Rincos, are you using like a standard block number, or how does that work?
No, he doesn't change anything, guys, on the Rincos. I know what you're asking about the mean Rincos and the median Rincos. No, we don't change any settings on these Rincos.
Yeah,
People
I
start
told you
messing
I'm not.
stuff up when they start changing settings. You're gonna mess yourself up.
So
Yeah,
whatever Trading View has, that's what you trade with.
That's it. I'm a default type of guy. I'm gonna figure. Like, I read something yesterday. Let me see if I took a screenshot yesterday. Y'all give me 1 second. I know I took a screenshot. I better have took a screenshot. I'm gonna be mad at myself if I didn't. If I didn't, I want to read it verbatim. But if I didn't, it's cool too. And it looked like I did not. Damn, I'm mad. I'm gonna have to go find it. But pretty much what the picture said yesterday that I read. I follow a page. It's a financial freedom page or whatever. Like, that's the only type of stuff I typically look at and follow when it comes to, like, that's what I use social media for. It's not like for nonsense and likes and, just whatever. Business purposes, and that's pretty much it when it's all said and done. But as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm still kind of looking for it, so I apologize. But anyways, the picture said, it had a picture of Steve Jobs next to it. And it said, the reason why you catch most of these, but not most, but all your billionaires wear the same thing is because automatically, and don't quote me, again, that's why I'm mad at myself for not taking a picture of it, because I want to legit read it verbatim for you all. And everybody know my goal. My goal is like billionaire. Like, that's my goal. I study billionaires. Like, $1 million that's nothing to me. I understand whatever. So what it said was that billionaires, like, people naturally, you have over 30,000 thoughts going on in your head a second or whatever, a day, something like that. You have like a lot of thoughts. So having that extra thought process in your head about what you're gonna wear, you're spending extra time on that. So billionaires, they wear the same thing. They just have multiple pairs of the same thing on a day in and day out basis. Regular jeans, nice pants, nice shoes, and a nice shirt, like whatever. They don't care. Like, they don't spend thought process in that, right? So I say that to say, when it comes to trading, I don't spend that extra. Like, that's a thought process where I have to sit here. What should this settings be? Trying to figure all of this stuff out. That's extra time I'm spending to where I don't need that. Like, Trading View got this. Okay, cool. I'm gonna use that. Let me go. Does that make sense? That's why I kind of like brought that back. I'm not that guy where I'm sitting here trying to. I don't care about that. Does that make sense? Did that analogy go? Was that a good analogy for you all?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to make it seem like I'm just rambling. So
Yeah, you're not looking for the
No,
bling
that was
bling.
helpful.
I've seen that. I've seen that meme before. You're not looking for the bling bling. It shows the closet of like most millionaires. They just have like the same polo shirt and basic looking jeans, and they're not out there for the fluff, driving a regular car. I know a multimillionaire that drives a hoopty. I mean,
exactly. Like Grant Cardone, he's a multi-billionaire. Like, he said, he had the same Malibu when he was a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're basic. Their goal. My goal is my goal. Like, I don't have time for arguing. I don't have time to be trying to figure this out, doing that. Like, you can ask Gigi. Gigi, like, Terrell, you don't ask no questions about nothing. You just like, okay, cool. Just let me know how that go. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know when it's time. Like, you can ask me about, like, she did a phenomenal job with this training, putting everything together. Like, I didn't come to Gigi, me and her didn't collaborate for pretty much everything until the week before when we came down with topics. That's it. everything else Gigi took care of, right? Like I'm not gonna ridicule Gigi for not doing, did you do that? Did you do that? No, I trust Gigi enough. Like I'm not gonna, no, that's, yeah. So I just don't do that. I'm not looking for fluff and all of that, right? Yeah, so anyways, don't get caught up into what your Renko settings are, all of this. Like, man, you need to be, then once you find all of that out, then you got to start figuring out the strategy to it. It's just taking too much time. So
yeah, it's like I told you guys, that's why I love Terrell's teaching. He's not out there hyping things up or fluffing things up, or like, when you see people out there trying to get you with bells and whistles and shiny things, run from them. He gives you exactly what you need to be very successful and profitable without a bunch of hoopla. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. So I'm about to show you all one more thing real quick, and then we can after lunch, we'll come back. I know somebody asked about the entries and all of that on Renkos. We'll get into that then. I don't want to take too much time of you all's lunch. So, so far what I've showed you, now I'm going to show you why that is so important, what I showed you. I'm going to go back to GJ, right? Number one, I'm going to go back to GJ and I'm going to show you all where we are in the market as of right now. What is going on right now? Can anybody see that?
We're in the consolidation. The flag.
Consolidate.
Yeah, it's a consolidation.
Did y'all remember what he told you we looked for confirmations?
What did I just show?
The EMAs.
What just happened?
They crossed.
They crossed.
Okay, cool. So what are we looking for when it comes to next week?
Sale.
Okay, cool. Now, this is what I'm about to do. So, can anybody tell me what my biggest day trading was?
$16,000 day.
16,000, right? Okay. Let's go. Do you all remember what pair that was that I actually did it on?
GJ. UK.
GJ, right? Okay, cool. So I just identified to you all, this is the area. I saw this channel, saw this pattern. We called, the sale based off of that flag after it dropped out. So right here is literally when I caught this entry right here. Now, remember, this was in November. I didn't start learning the actual, didn't start learning the Renkos until well towards the end of December. So needless to say, this is well before. So let's switch over to Renkos. Pull back my money template. Can you all tell me, based off of where we entered the market, which is right here in this area, look what happened. Now, I had 11 standards. I had a $10 standard order, and I had a 1 standard order, right? So I had 11 standards overall. Entry was around here. What happened right there?
It retested.
It crossed.
It crossed, right? That same time it crossed there, guess what it did here?
Cross your MACD.
Right? Cross my MACD. So 11 standards, I caught about 300 pips, somewhere around that. Paid me $16,000 in 24 hours. With that being said, how many pips did price drop before the year?
Enough to pay cash
Holy
for a house.
mackerel.
Now,
1,400.
in this same area, you tell me, based off of where we got that cross, when did price show me that it was crossing back over before we got to the overall uptrend?
That was on
It didn't.
It did not. It stayed underneath clearly the entire time.
Could have got another entry too.
Another entry, boy. I could have kept these same 11 standards here. Yeah, I could have caught multiple entries. We know that. Flag, flag, flag. Like, that's just on the 1 hour. Again, we dropped to a smaller time frame. Guess what a smaller time frame tells you? It shows you even more flags when it's all said and done. But not only forget that, of course I could have did that. But the point is, everybody looking at $16,000 in a day and saying, oh my God, you probably thinking what you would have done that day. You made $16,000, right? Now, I'm grateful for it. Do not get me wrong. Again, you never just, you either win or you learn. This was a learning lesson for me, right? I didn't lose, of course, but I learned because it was something that I had to continue to grow. I came back and I tested that same area when I was going through my processes of learning. Can you imagine having 11 standards? Remember, I caught 300 and made $16,000. Can you imagine that same 11 standards and you catch 1,500 pips? without even second guessing, should you get out or not? Do you know how much money that is?
You also look at how
Enough to
much
go into the
profit
witness
that
protection
is.
program.
Like, man. So that like, this is how big this is. Like, I told you, I have a 14-year-old. He stays in Nigeria as one of my private students. And when I taught him this, let me see if I can really quick, not to really go too deep into everything with him. Where is he at? Can't find him. For whatever reason, I get so many messages in here, it's not even funny.
Probably spelling his name wrong. Those names are hard to spell sometimes. There he is right there.
You see him?
Uh-huh.
Where you see him at?
Keep going down right there. Yep.
Yeah. 14-year-old. All he do is send me, look, this is all, remember, he's in a third world country. So he's 14. He's paying for his parents. Like, thank you, sir, for this knowledge. Like, all he takes Rankos and he kills it every single day based off of that. Look, everything he's sending me, he can catch him more. This is the 4 hour. Look, he bought from the very bottom. Look at this. Look at this. I'm like, man, you ain't tell me to get in. Like, you got to teach me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that just tells you how big, like, this Renko strategy is or whatever. So, any questions before we go take that break?
So Terrell, you can do it on the 1 hour or the 4 hour. Like you can have a trade going on the 1 hour and then have a separate one going on the 4 hour. Or, well, if you can find the two crossing.
You can. I love the 1 hour because Renko's is slow. It's pure price. So it's not giving you fluff. So when you get this cross on the 1 hour, let's go to the 4 hour and see when you get this cross. That same cross right there. So same cross on the 4 hour didn't happen until right here. It's lagging. Like, this is a big drop. So from that line, I mean from this trend line to that trend line, that's 100 pips. I look at the 4 hour, the 1 hour. Once I get that 1 hour cross, at that very moment, I understand I'm in an overall sale. So now I'm looking to go, like I always call it hammer time. That's when I go ham on the market. Those are the times when if you a 50-cent lot size trader, if you a standard, if you usually a 10-cent, whatever. My 10-cent traders, now my lot sizes are 60 cent, 50 cent. If you a standard trader, now I'm at 3 standards. If you a 5 standards, now I'm at 10 standards, 15 standards.
Lambo
right?
lots.
Yeah, that's when I'm going ham because Rankos is showing me that I'm officially in that downtrend. I'm officially getting ready to, like, it's time now, right? You can milk the market at that point. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And how many pips came after that cross to the upside down there? I just saw that.
Which one?
Like on that last buy, both of those you guys could have caught, yeah.
Yeah. So this buy right here, that was 700 pips just from the cross. That's not even from the bottom. Now
700 pips.
When we go to candles, like you all already noticed, we talked about structure already. So going to structure, this buy right here, if I would have looked for this buy, why would I have looked for this buy? Can anybody tell me?
It's at the bottom of the.
Exactly. Double bottom, correct? I bought here, bought here. So let's say I enter here. That's cool. I understand structure. Structure is the meat and potatoes of everything. I told you, by the end of this training, everything was going to add up. So this is me adding up structure now. Structure tells me to look for buy. I enter here. This is my entry. Now this entry, if I'm normally a 10 cent, 20 cent trader, I'm in for 10 cent, I'm in for 20 cent. Beautiful. Now at that point, let me go back to Rankos. At that point, I'm in. Now I'm up 100 pips. So I'm up, what's 10 cent with 100 pips? That's like 50, that's 10 pips. That's about $100, right? I'm up $100. Easy $100 right here. But guess what? Not only did I catch it from the bottom where I'm up $100, but now because I understand Rankos, what do I see right here?
See them
That
crosses?
cross.
I see that cross. So now I know this official uptrend is actually starting. So from this official uptrend, I normally do 10 cent and 20 cent. I'm doing a standard right here. I'm doing 80 cent. I'm doing 90 cent. Now, I'm not the type of person to sit here and tell you to go blow your account. No, I'm not that guy. But I'm going to be real. Most people that I talk to, most people that I teach, they're starting their accounts. I've never trained somebody who started their account with more than $1,000. Most people are in that $100 area, that $500 area. Hey, I done seen people where they starting their account with $50, right? You're not going to grow your account from no $50 to no $500,000 doing 5 cent, 2 cent lot sizes for the rest of your life. But the thing is, now that you learn the skill set, now you know the opportunities. I'm going to just be real with my mentor. He legit told me. He told, and this is no fluff. If I had the recording right here, I'll play it for you all right now. He told me, sometimes, bro, in the market, you got to go ham. When you get those opportunities to go ham, you just got to go ham. You got to be ready to risk 50% of your account. You got to be able to say, you know what, if I lose this, I'm just going to lose this. But you don't do it in the mindset of being at a casino, like hoping it hits 7, hoping it hits 11 on the road. No, you do it in the mindset of understanding your knowledge. Understanding Rankos is about the cross. Let me put a standard on this now. I know, I understand Rankos. Like, that's why I hear Gigi talk to people about this all the time. Having mentors, having somebody having trading partners, like not just being, it's just you. Learning the skill set first. Most people who get into this industry, they see, oh man, I just made $30 that fast. Oh, forget that. I'm about to, and they don't do they don't go by learning. They just know they can press buy and they can press sell. But when you learn this skill set, this is your money machine at this point. We say ATMs. Honestly, I don't even like saying ATMs no more because why? ATMs run out of money. I don't run out of money with this. I don't run out of money. This is literally, oh man, I need some furniture. All right, let me go make that real quick. Oh man, I need gas in the car. Oh man, like let me go make that real quick. This is that. Like you can literally press a button and go make whatever it is that you need, right? So I'm up $100 right here. I see this cross now. Now that I see this cross, now I'm going ham in the market. Now I'm doing 50 cent. Now I'm doing a standard. From there, I made 700 pips. With a standard, that's $7,000. No, I'm sorry. Golly, where's my math? 100 pips off a standard is I'm right. That is right. That's $7,000 just off a standard. What if I did 2 standards? That's $14,000 just before that. I understand this is what? You all understand structure. What is this right here?
Flag.
Correct.
A flag. I switch back over to candles. Look at the pattern. I know it's a flag. This is still being held. This still being held. Heck, even if I kept this in, 700 pips later off a 10 cent, 20 cent lot size. Heck, that's about $1,000. I don't know. I haven't done those lot sizes in I don't know how long. Not bragging, but I just like that matters.
Sorry.
But yeah, so you all get the point. But I understand this is a flag based off of my structure, so I know for a fact a continuation is happening. I can switch back over to Rankos, and Rankos is telling me, boom, I got another cross. Guess what? Time to go ham again.
Go ham.
That's it.
Time to make the bacon.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all.
When I told y'all were getting a deal on this boot camp, I told y'all you were getting a deal.
Oh, yes.
All I know is I got my hair dyed, my sunglasses, and all of that ready to go into the witness protection program when I hit this bag, because I don't know nobody and don't nobody know me.
Hey, real talk. Real talk.
Hey,
No
Terrell,
more cousins.
you're not only able to catch it down, but you can also catch it up. I mean, you can both ways.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, when you look at Rankos, you're not lying. Me personally, I'm only always pretty much looking to go towards the trend. Now, honestly,
Safest way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, though. Let me switch back over to candles. Because right here, before we got that flag pattern forming, I actually caught some of this sale. What do we have forming before that flag hit started?
An
Ascending channel.
Exactly. So remember, I'm still holding, when it's all said and done, I'm still holding my buy position. But because I saw this, I do one or two things. I either close this, and then I start looking for to sell, and I catch that sale for that flag. Because I understanding what type of, like, I don't want to go too deep off of it, but this impulse, flag, continuation. What is this? What is this flag that we have right here?
It's a correction from a higher.
It's a correction.
Dang, y'all cold. I thought I was gonna be sitting here confusing y'all. Y'all cold. Exactly. It's just a correction for a higher time frame. Why? Because we got that big move up. So a higher time frame, the same area where we got that, look like it's about a weekly flag, but I'm gonna start at the daily. So yep, higher for a higher time frame. Boom. That's it. That's a higher time frame flag. Hey,
and remember, that's why I told y'all you should always know, is this moving aggressively or correctively? And remember, your aggressive move does not create what?
A pattern.
Right. Yep.
Your
Exactly.
corrective move does.
Yep, that's it. That's it, guys. That is it. And now you all see how everything, as I remember day one, everybody asked for Rankos and all this. Like, do you understand structure yet? See how it all ties in?
Yes.
Terrell, what I'm looking at, because the wrinkles are pretty basic, why do I even need to go back to the candles if I can just do wrinkles?
You don't, but you still want to understand it. You don't, though. Right. Honestly, I told you, when I teach kids this, I don't teach kids like me trying to draw trend lines and doing all of this. Like, no, that's too much for, like, a kid can learn more than what we can learn because they're open, but their attention span is much lower than ours. Like, so in order to keep their attention span up, like, these are just things, with me understanding people and studying people over my years, this is just stuff I just know. With me understanding that, you have to know how you're able to attack a child, while keeping their attention as fast as you possibly can. So me teaching them red line over this and that XYZ, that's great. But you still want to understand and know structure, because you always want to know you at in the market. Like me, based off of me understanding structure, before I just showed you our Rankos, we knew that GJ was going to get ready and go into a buy because in this area. And that's just on the 1 hour. Just imagine if we did an entire top-down analysis on this prior to us getting into this actual buy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But if I was just to sit here, like I've been to a few trainings with educators, and these educators make nice money in the market. Like they actually quote unquote know how to trade. When they're educating you all, they're educating you a strategy. They're not educating you on how to read the market. They're literally just showing you a strategy, right? This right here, like that's what people just do. So this is just a strategy with Rankos. That's it. I don't just teach you a strategy. I'm teaching you how to read it, and then I'm applying a strategy to understanding it overall. Some of these trainers, if you go do what they're doing, and you don't have those specific tools that they use and all of this and all of that, then guess what? You as a trader is no more, because now you don't know what you don't know. This, you know it now. Now you can apply strategy to it, and now hammer time. Hey, you take that strategy somebody taught you, you probably still sketchy on going ham on it because you don't know for sure. But now you know for sure, because now your meat and potatoes, aka your structure, adds up to your strategy. Now it's hammer time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey guys, and you see why, like on Forex and Chill, when people ask about Rankos, I'm like, nope, because stuff like this should be set aside for the people who cared enough about their education to seek further. And you guys sought further, you came into a boot camp with some mentors that can take you to the next level. So this stuff, I'll never teach it free to the public. If people want to go to the next level, they need to care about themselves enough to reach deep.
Yep. So, any questions before we take this lunch real quick? Everybody good? Okay, cool. So let's be back at 12:20.
And let me just tell Stephanie. Stephanie, aggressive is your impulse. Corrective is your flag. That's all. Aggressive means it shot straight up or shot straight down and didn't create a pattern. Your
Right.
flag always creates a pattern. It's corrective.
Yeah. So for example, right here, see how sharp that is, and then look how it's scaling down. Perfect example. Matter of fact, gold. When we was buying gold, everybody was buying gold. I knew this was a corrective. We bought gold 2 weeks ago, like legit 2 weeks ago when we started looking to buy gold. But prior to that, we was selling gold. Why? Nice and sharp. The buy, I told everybody this is temporarily. Get ready and start looking for a big move to the downside. So even when we apply Rankos to that same thing, look what happened when price was really, really aggressive. It shot underneath our EMA, right? Now, what's happening? It's a flag forming. Overall, we're buying inside of a overall sale based off of that. So now the price gets to that EMA, starting to look like it's ready to start what? Giving us that continuation to the downside. Plain and simple. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Cool?
Hey, Terrell, when you trade inside that channel right there, that ascendant, that's big pips in the middle of there. Do you go down lower on the Renko or do you go down to candles?
Ask that one more time. I'm sorry.
See that ascendant channel? That's big pips in between there because it's gold. If you want to trade in that channel just to scalp a little bit, do you go back to candles or do you go lower on Renkos?
So where do you see an ascendant channel? Tell me that first. Take your time.
I think he meant a flag.
It's a flag. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So now that's a great question. I don't look at Rankos at all. I use market structure. So I'm on candles. Give me 1 second. Okay. Give me 1 second. Go back to candles. Right. So you see this flag, correct? I'm gonna delete all of this so you're not confused. You see this, correct? So you understand this is a flag now, right?
Yes.
So prior to that flag that formed, what happened before that flag formed?
You had a bearish engulfing.
Oh, hold on. Uptrend started here. What happened before that flag formed? The market is always telling you what's about to happen. Anybody want to help them out?
Descending channel.
Here you go. See that reversal pattern form? See that?
Yes.
There you go. So this let me know that price is about to start reversing ahead and up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So at that point, I'm not looking at Rankos. I'm looking at market structure. So for the person who asks, why would I ever use that and not go, market structure is king. You don't have to use, like Rankos is great, but it's just a strategy. It's just to confirm everything. Market structure is showing me price is about to get ready to go into an uptrend, an up move. Now, as time goes on, I start realizing if that up move is aggressive or whatever, but for the most part, like I'm seeing, as I look at this and I look deep, it's not aggressive at all. It's just a flag for me. I understand that through market structure. I don't understand that through Rankos. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I would catch the buy on a short-term level. That's why I'm only looking. That's why we was looking for the buy when that happened. And now I'm only looking for sales. That's it. That's all. That is it. That is all. Caught some nice pips in the buy a couple of days ago. But if you look closely, so me personally, I was hoping that price came back up here, where? To the top of the overall what? Flag, correct? So somewhere in this area. So if you go back to my Telegram, I told everybody, looking for price to come, hoping for price to come somewhere within the 1476, 1475 area, somewhere in that area, to look for the actual sell from the top. But if you all noticed before, right after I said that, and I actually had this is crazy. Like I know it's lunchtime, I don't want to go too far, but I had price just like this. So we caught this buy right here. That's 100 pips. But guess what? Came to this trend line and started to break down. Now, if I zoom to the 5 minute, still a possibility that price do what?
Goes in a buy.
Go to the top of this flag like I want. So the top, or at least back to this trend line. I'm hoping for this though. So it's just about keeping your eyes on it. But understand that I'm in an overall, everything that we do right now in gold, we're doing it in a flag. You have to know that. You have to know that. You gotta know that. You gotta know that. You gotta know that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
So, like you said, why did we look to buy? We look to buy not based off of Renkos, but we look to buy because we saw that descending channel on candles. That descending channel showed us that a buy was coming. And people like Gigi actually caught it before me. She caught it from the very bottom. I caught it from the flag, and then I caught the rest and held or whatever. So from the very bottom, that's 300 pips. And that's just in a flag. That's it. Everything that we're doing is in a flag right now. And then if you really want to be technical, heck, even all of that is in the flag. Like this is one big flag. That's it. One big flag. Right? That's it. That's all. Just always understanding and never being lost in the market. Always knowing what's going on. That's it. All right?
So I think we should come back later, like maybe at least a quarter after, because I know I need at least 45 minutes. My grocery just got delivered.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Okay, cool. So you tell them the time, GG, and that's cool.
Yeah, and instead of coming back at 1, since it's already 12:30, let's do 1:15.